What's Miki? What's the new one we started using? The M
Manus?
Manus.
Yeah.
No, there's also a new one called Mistral. Mistral. It's French. That's supposed to be one of the fastest now. Of course, Pierre was talking about it because it's French. But we did get independent confirmation that it's a very good LLM and is one of the fastest, and it's gotten a lot of buzz recently. So, but I've not used it. I've never used it. Have you guys used it?
So I've got 4 different ones set up. I'm gonna screen share.
Okay.
With that question, because now that I've mentioned it, I'm very interested to see.
Yeah, let's see what they say. You're basically asking it to grade itself.
Yeah. So I know this one's going to take a while. So pretty simple. We're thinking of expanding our offerings on our website, right? So we're period technical, just to make sure it knows that. Should we expand and deliver? And I want to see which one's the most positive around that. Like, I almost guarantee that every single one of them will tell you that we could do it.
100%.
And how. And it'll be stupid, like, oh, you just need to learn. Like, you
just need to believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Just believe.
So this one will take a long time. So I'll kick that one off. I've got this one on deep research. Let's kick that one off. Grok's on deep research. But Perplexity, I don't have the paid account. So this one should be pretty quick, I think. Oh, that was very quick. One tells you everything you need to know.
Deep research
for Endeavor. Right. It complements our existing technical skill. I mean, I could see how user experience might be like 1 degree off, like because it's a technical skill set around. Like,
I mean, it's related,
knowledge.
Right? So
yeah,
there's a lot of assumptions going in there. It's kind of like it's not talking about why you guys should.
Well, this wasn't a deep research one, so I feel like this was like as generalized as you could get.
It's like why UI UX makes sense in general as a complement to development.
Yeah, could be. Okay, it depends. So that's good.
All right.
At least it
isn't Grok Twitter.
No, X. Oh yeah, Twitter. Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I still call it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that too, and I was like, I call it Twitter.
We'll never not call it Twitter.
Okay, well, at least this one told us that we would need to hire someone.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Because we can't do it ourselves. Maybe they're not as positive.
Okay, that one was a little bit more of a reality check one.
Yeah. This is going to ask me questions. This is where I get like, I don't want to. Yeah.
You could also ask it like, why do you think this? You know.
Yeah.
Like evaluate your reasoning and give me analyze and then reevaluate your answer.
Yeah, I'm like, keep it short.
Yeah.
That's
it's verbose.
I mean, my thing with ChatGPT is like, could you not put paragraph breaks after every sentence when I copy and paste and have to remove them all?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like, they're just not necessary. It's just like, why are you making it so? Jesus.
Okay. No, too short.
Let's see if this one finished. All right, I'm not even going to read the rest of this. This one probably still hasn't finished. Oh, it did.
Whoa.
So this will give you an entire like dissertation.
That's Manus? I've not used this one.
That
is like a market analysis of how to do it, probably. Like,
yeah, Manus goes like deep research, and that gives you like, they have multiple agents running concurrently, so it gives you like crazy research and come up with like a documentation for a recommendation.
Yeah, so it researched the size and growth. But again, I don't know how much we can trust these things. Like, it's going to come up with a positive answer.
Well, you can say, why do you think this? And then after it tells you, you say, are you lying to me?
Yep, we'll do that. Yep.
That seems very like Space Odyssey.
Yeah, this one's like generic. Like, yeah, of course it'll it'll expand.
I feel like this is how I talk. I mean, I talk to it sometimes like it's a, like I question it a lot. And my father, I find, is using to have conversations because he's lonely. So yeah, I wonder how many people are doing that.
I feel like I'm getting more angry as an individual by having conversations with mine. Like,
I get very frustrated. I get
Like,
very, very
No, I
frustrated.
I
sometimes
feel
I
like I'm
think
coming out of
like-
the day like not as calm as I used to be.
I actually find it so it's almost like a game. There's something about it that I actually enjoy, because you're just like you're discovering what its faults are, its flaws,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
you're just testing what like all these things you could ask it, and just seeing how
Yeah.
far you can go with it.
It
Yeah, I
requires
mean, you
a
could
lot of
definitely.
experimenting. It
Mhm.
really does. And trial and error.
I do like on a personal side, like doing the research for purchases and things like. I was using it more often. Like it
Yeah.
gave me again because it's going out and looking at marketing sites, but still,
Yeah,
it's
but
going
still-
out and getting data from all these places and putting it in one place where I don't have to look at it anymore.
Have you done any of the things where you're like, it's like, shall I turn it into a spreadsheet for you or a handout? I did that.
So I tried the handout. I was telling you about that today. It did not go so well.
Yeah.
That was my arguments today. So I was using a couple of them, and it kept telling we got all the data I wanted for I was starting with a 1-pager, ended up being like a 3-pager. It's like cool. It kept showing me images. It's like that's great. Can you make I want to edit this? Can you what's the option? It's like, oh, how about Canva? It's like awesome. Like I'll use Canva. I'll go edit it. It's like create a doc and share it. Like it did that. It's like, and that was and that I think started yesterday. I was like, oh, oh, just give me a few minutes. Like whatever. Like come back an hour. It's like, oh, it didn't do anything. And then so for a whole day and today, and I finally I yelled at it. I was like, you're not doing this. What is going on? Like tell me what's going on. And it told me I cannot interact with third-party systems.
Yeah.
And I have no ability to access it. Like,
So then why did you offer that?
you told me the exact way of sharing it with you. And
Oh,
then I was like, well, can you create a PDF for me? And like, yeah, sure. And then it kept going. I was like, it's like, oh, I use Python to generate that, and I can only create text. So I can only create basic text. I can't do the design that I showed you.
Yeah, I've
Mhm.
had issues with that too, like trying to create PDFs, and I'm like, this isn't working. And I think I don't know if I told you, but I was using these new tools that the code generation, the AI code generation.
Mhm.
So I was using this thing that through Figma, setting up the MCP server to then output code in Cursor. And so I was like, it took a very simple design. It was the notification banner in Torrents. No, it was the hero image. And so I put it in and I configured it all. And what it output, I was like, oh, that's not right. That does not, like, you got the photo and you got the text, but it was like a mutant version of it. It was so funny. I'm like, this is a work in progress. Not ready for prime time. But the concept is great that it would then be able to inspect this Figma file and then turn it
Right.
into a thing for you.
Well, so the last 2 weekends I worked on with my sons, I think I've told all of you this a little bit. Like they're creating a Lego rental service. So I had it creating a website to do that for them. And so I have no design skills, as we've already discussed. I have very little UI or UX experience. It generated everything for me. Had to create a WordPress theme out of that, and then I could do everything from that, and then make all the tweaks. And I continued to have it make updates to WordPress to continue to add user generation, membership management, and it's doing it well, kind of. Like it still needs someone to fix it,
right?
Each time, but I've been able to take it from their concept, throw that in there, and build them a website with
that's awesome.
kind of in the background.
I mean, it's like first drafts. It's good for idea generation, first drafts, but nothing production ready.
Yeah.
But
well, and it's going to give it's going to give you is a what used to be Bootstrap, basic layout templates that have existed for a while, and nothing that's going to be current, real current, new, actually advancing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
try to.
also curious about like when Matt was doing it. I was telling him that since both of us are very technical, we know exactly what to ask, and you two too, because you're UX and you're familiar with the project
Yeah.
and what needs to be done and what requirements needs to be done. So we know exactly what to ask. And I was telling him like he's like this is gonna replace a lot of like junior developers, but at the same time, they might not know what to ask. Like
Right.
when you see this, and when you see this thing changing, like all different versions of it, you don't know what to ask to fix it correctly.
And
So-
then you're going to have a lot of business people that think they know,
Right.
and it will output something, and they're going to be like, this is awesome. See, I don't need to hire a designer.
Yeah.
I don't need to hire a developer because I just did it using AI. I don't need to hire them.
Mhm.
And then puts out like this crappy looking thing.
Yeah.
And
Oh, its
you'll-
first iteration, all the passwords, all the keys were all visible in source. Like view source, look through it, grab the right, or look for the key, and I was able to find everything. It's like, well, that's not good.
What
Like-
could go wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are like right keys to be able to create people and like send messages. But that was its first, like it thought it was done.
Yeah. But what happens 2 years from now?
Oh, you think the security issues are bad now with people writing things?
Oh, yeah. Now
Wait
it-
till AI is writing code for cars.
Scary.
Which maybe it already is. I mean, I don't know.
I
but-
don't like this timeline. Can I just say that? I don't like this timeline. This is not my favorite. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty scary. I mean, it's not even, I think I like it for copy editing, generating copy, like Ariel mentioned. It's great. I mean, it's still not perfect. You still have to look at things and you still have to like fix things, but I think it's very useful from a work standpoint. I use it very in a lot of personal situations, like
Mhm.
looking for answers for things, which I love. I like it. It makes me feel like, I'm living in the like some Star Trek future where I'm asking some funny questions and it's giving me some answers. But I tried to use it for like Canva has a logo generator. It was terrible. I used and I think there was some other
there were a few tools that you
Yeah.
did a
Yeah.
test drive.
yeah, and it was not. It did not work. It was like it was
Yeah.
interesting, like what weird things it came up with. It could be
Yeah.
things that just didn't belong. That were just out of
Really
context.
amateurish. Like
Yeah.
it like
Ve-
somebody with like zero design skills
Yeah.
created.
Yes,
So
that
what-
and things that
That's-
make sense, nonsensical,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Not
our impression on our side too. Like I feel like, and I mentioned this to Miki. I've said it to a few people now. It's like I feel like I'm getting a different junior developer each time I ask a question.
Yes.
And I wonder, like, when you're doing a logo, so I was getting like changes to other things that had been done already each time when I go like long term when I'm using it. Like, is
Mhm.
it changing the design of like previous requests too? And
Oh, I'm sure it is. But that's why it's like now becoming more work to double check all the work.
yeah,
Well,
you don't know what it actually changed, right?
Yep.
yeah. It's not usable at all.
For logo creation.
Mhm.
For logo creation, or even to generate ideas. I mean,
Yeah,
rudimentary. Well, you can say, oh, there's a car on the street in this logo, like like, oh, it gave me the idea of the car on a street in the logo or something like that. That it very, very like basic ideas, maybe, but it will not render anything worth it. It'll mix weird styles together.
Mhm.
And also, I used it to alter a photo for a presentation because they were like, we can't see the faces, or it was a perfect photo for the layout, and it was the client. We had to use the photo that the client gave us, and it was like, sorry, not portrait, but portrait. It wasn't landscape,
Yeah.
and I needed it to be landscape. So I'm like, hey, like make that guy fill in the rest of his body. It's only like a quarter, a sliver.
That's right.
And I did it, and I had to, be creative with the prompts, but it could never get the ear right. So the ear, it was like looking Vulcan. It was looking like a bat's ear. It was like a hole. It was nothing I did, and I tried many times, and the ear, it just could not get that ear right. And could I have copied and pasted an ear off of another photo and like kind of photoshopped it in? Absolutely. But I didn't, this thing is supposed to not, it's supposed to do that. So
It was to generate it.
yeah. So I made it so that his ear would be covered with something, like his hair or whatnot. But most people wouldn't be able to tell. So that was through Photoshop. Photoshop has those AI features now, and all this software is having all these AI features, which I find, or these apps, are having these AI features, and I want to play with them more. But I do think that those days are going to come where it will be able to do those things,
Right. Yeah.
and very soon.
Yeah, right now you
Maybe.
can tell. Well, you can tell it's AI generated because even for a simple thing, I was playing with when I get the Sora access, it did a lot better than other ChatGPT generated images do. But I did ask a simple thing because I have 2 cats and they don't get along, so I wanted a picture of those 2 getting along.
Oh.
So that my dream. So I made it generated. So I have a Russian blue and orange tabby. I want 2 Russian blue and orange tabby sleeping together, cuddling each other. I did that. I made it as like, why don't you make a little video of them kind of like cuddling, some interaction. What it did was it made the legs creepy, the paws creepy.
Oh,
One started to have like a 7 paws at 1 second, and then the other one has like a more than like 4 claws, and it's like I was like, what is going on? This just turned into a horror movie. So,
did you keep trying to change the prompt saying like too many paws?
yeah,
Like,
too many paws. Just make
let's
sure
move
when they're
along.
moving, don't overlap 5 different paws at the same time. And yeah, after like an hour of playing with it, I'm like, all right, I give up. I'll be happy with just the static picture that doesn't move.
Well, also on Instagram, I follow a lot of people who are doing the AI content with moving pictures, like almost looks like they're.
They look like movies. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
And
from a static.
I don't. It's from all these different creators. I mean, I follow the ones I really like, but there are some very twisted. There's some
Yeah.
extremely twisted stuff out there, which I tend to actually like because.
One that you sent me one today that was really
Yes.
cool.
Yeah. So as the old woman's like disintegrating as it keeps going further and further.
And she takes selfies, and this other
the
young
girls-
woman keeps showing up in her selfies. And she does it now. And it was this whole movie that was created by AI. And one of the top rated comments was like, now this is how you use AI.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to film this otherwise.
And those are the creators that I follow. And I love how sometimes it just gets suggested. Like that got suggested to me based upon other things I like.
Yeah.
So, but
it is still not good with hands, ears.
Text is the worst.
Why?
Yeah, why can't it do real English if you know?
Why is that a problem for
I
AI?
have no idea.
I don't understand that. Like, you've got font libraries, right? It has access to free Google fonts, presumably.
I mean, the thing I was working on, I literally had copy that I created and how to use it, and it took that copy and created typos in it. Like, it didn't want you to change anything, and it changed our name, which is hard to spell, Endeavor, but like text inside of it was changed and misspelled. Like,
I wonder if you said to it, "Stop this, knock it off."
it did. No, I had an argument. It was that's
really
why
angry.
I left yesterday so irritated and like everything.
That's crazy.
It's not happening to us. I don't feel like I'm having weird things with.
I'm not having typos. I've had issues because I've tried to create sort of, graphics to put in for website designs, and it will do it like it doesn't even look English. Like it just merges words together. It looks really bizarre.
I always have to say it specifically, no text, because I know that would mess it up.
It'll try to put text in, and then the text is. But I don't understand why it has problems with text.
It's like a mushed up thing. I don't know what that is.
It makes no sense to me why that would be a problem. But there was a famous video, it's probably maybe like 6-7 months ago now, where a guy asked how many R's in strawberry. And it insisted there were 2 R's in strawberry. And in the video, it shows him doing the prompts like spell strawberry.
No, right?
Spells it, and it's count the R's. There are 2 R's in strawberry. It's the craziest video. It is absolutely crazy. And it since has been corrected, but for a long time that error stood. Like you could ask how many R's in strawberry? 2. 2 R's in strawberry. Yeah. So
That's funny.
trust but verify.
Yep.
Well,
I'm going to
years
take over the
later-
screen one more time.
Okay.
First, we do have to do that, but I want to share a video or a thing that I did for some friends, and it's related because we're doing Boozy browsing. So we have this internal joke about a whiskey called Hard Truth. So I had to create crooked lies.
I love that.
But which is great. In U of M sucks. Sorry for
U
some
of
people. But, one of the guys is a big U of M fan. But then look in here. Like it's got the weird,
Why?
right? Like
Goldie.
what happened? Like gold medal is English. What's this stuff?
Best fire datch.
Well, if you go on top, it's a goity gold.
Goidy gold.
Like I told it to create fake awards, but it created like totally fake things. Like,
Why?
yeah, completely.
I don't understand why.
The other thing, we're going to do a review of, and we can keep talking after this or during it, but this was just one of the sites that we picked.
Okay.
And I already did load it, but I didn't really look at it. It kind of looks okay, so this might be boring. But
Oh my God. I
and it was
know
a New York
all the
site.
New York State sites. Yeah.
So hopefully it's not a client of you guys,
No.
or
Nope.
I know we do some with New York State in general, but not this site. So Department of Labor. I've looked at ours, and Colorado's looking pretty good too because they did a lot of upgrades. I feel like a lot of the state and federal stuff has done upgrades in the past couple of years.
Yes. Yeah. This is definitely an
in
initiative.
general.
A lot of municipalities, a lot of public sector sites are getting better.
I mean, this is the type of thing, though. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Yeah, you can. Like,
That's hurting my soul.
what the heck?
Yeah.
That is, there's no
Well,
reason.
I think
for
it's
that.
just because a lot of people don't pay attention to like the error, like any kind of informational error, or the modals. Like sometimes they get forgotten. Like maybe they
But
did.
why would? But a button should never not be the same size as a text.
No. But I know. But I'm just saying, like if they rework the site, maybe they didn't rework the styles of their
Of a
modals.
modal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But that looks.
Man hates this.
I don't know.
Things not line up. Like things are kind of like off
I
balance.
think someone decided that this needed to be bigger and they forgot to ask for,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
this needed to be smaller and they forgot to I don't
Right. But they probably didn't do like a style library of buttons. I mean, or they did
know.
because they're not using the style of the buttons in this mode.
Sure, because
Yeah.
these two are pretty similar height, at least visually, and then
Yeah.
this one is smaller, so maybe this is the right kind of size.
But I mean, if you're working in a big platform, like there can be these like things these modals that you don't even know about, and somehow the styles don't get applied to them for whatever reason.
Weird.
Some do, and
this X is definitely an out of the box.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can see down here where someone had a design. And it was built that way, the way it's supposed to be, and this was
But that's not really down there. It's just it's just like a
it's the bot.
yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to that bot.
That's a plug-in piece of software. That's like they're using a platform.
Oh, right. But that even looks better. The plug-in piece of software looked better than the other one, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At least it's in that modal versus
Right,
Yeah.
not outside it. Although some people do design those buttons to be out, like kind of like in.
I don't like that.
or like that. I mean, I've seen other sites that do that. So
Yeah, I don't like that.
no, we don't do that, but it's out
I'm
there.
not crazy about the yellow background
Mhm.
in text.
And the
I
black.
was gonna say, it's weird. I don't know what your takes are. I don't know if it's.
I'm not
color.
crazy.
Although I'll say that it probably is accessible.
It is accessible, definitely sufficient contrast, but it's just ugly.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
and this is and if you scroll down, I mean the text is pretty small actually.
Where's
All that-
this?
yeah, the text is too small. And it's funny because they're using those as eyebrow, but that those like working to ensure an
An
even playing field
field.
isn't really kind of like a eyebrow type thing.
It's like a
pretty smaller.
tagline,
yeah, it's like it is a tagline, and it shouldn't be used.
but you
Where'd
should
the
never
blue come from?
use fonts that thin all uppercase
Yeah.
that much text.
Oh,
Text.
right
It's
there.
crazy. That's a lot of
It's
text
hard
there.
to read.
Yeah.
That's
I can
really
even. I don't know
hard.
if I can even read that. Working to ensure an even playing field for workers and businesses. I said
Like it
Yeah.
like I rejected it many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Like that's not good.
It doesn't really honestly look like they set up good styling for their text because it looks a little all over the place. And look how tiny that from UI the way you raise it. I mean, that's small.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm on a big screen and I'm taking up like for me even like I'm seeing it. It's small.
Yeah. Like, I can barely read it.
And then when you hover over the headlines, what happens?
Like these are
Yeah. Okay.
These
So
are
at least it's underlined.
blue. Where'd the blue? I'm gonna scroll up real fast.
Yeah.
sorry.
The blue doesn't really make sense with a
Even
general.
that like there is no blue until
No.
oh
that's-
those
links.
okay those
So it's indicating a link. Okay.
and those go to the color the brand color.
That's a generic blue link.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But
linked.
this one doesn't.
That's
Yeah,
a-
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do a developer thing. I don't think you're gonna see it, but it is. I want to see if they actually. No, someone. It's a 004DD1. It's not just blue. It looks
Okay. Yeah. So, but it's definitely that's their indicator that it's linked text.
Well, then you can click on those accordions they open that learn about UI.
not that.
There's no
They're
hover
not
on there.
accordion.
It's a link.
They're just like
What?
This no, that's just a
Oh
link.
no! That wasn't an accordion. I thought it was an accordion.
I
it's a
just all
button.
anchored something. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are all linked.
Yeah, there's a lot to fix here. But you know,
New York State, hire us.
yeah.
We'll do a heuristic audit.
what happened there? Like, why is YouTube on the next line?
It just
They added one. They're like,
did
oh, we got to add that other one that we forgot about.
Hey, look, they have Twitter.
Oh,
Oh,
see,
that's
oops.
Twitter.
And
This,
look
is,
They
at
didn't
Ultra.
change to X.
this doesn't seem that old. I mean, that's been a few years. But it's even twitter.com.
I guess it's definitely wow.
I still have to interact with this bot.
It's permanent labor.
What? I mean, which?
Labor.
They don't indicate what platform is powering it. Curious.
I mean, I wonder how many people ask that, right?
Sure.
Oh, sure.
Like, they're like, I've been unemployed. What am I supposed to do?
My money.
I can't even read that. It's so small, even for me.
Yeah.
If you're eligible.
So what's Perkins, the UI bot? Perkins is the name that
So this is a trend where people are naming their bots. Perkins is a stupid name though. Sorry. I don't
Yeah.
mean to, like
Wasn't Perkins a restaurant? Wasn't Perkins
Yep.
some
yeah,
It
lots
might
of
still
yeah,
be.
it is.
America
Vietnamese
restaurant?
breakfast
Perkins.
restaurant.
Yep.
Yeah, like a brunch restaurant, like IHOP.
What why would they name it Perkins? That was a decision. Like somebody
Yeah, but it's a decision probably by like one or two people. In a,
Maybe that person really loved Perkins restaurant.
maybe maybe it is. Maybe
I got
that
great customer service at Perkins.
Yeah.
Like,
come say hi. Come. I'm gonna have my dog is gonna
See if
come.
it's a self-aware bot.
Oh, puppy.
It is not.
This is Chewy. Say hi,
His
Chewy.
name is Chewy.
Yeah. Well, because it's short for Chewbacca. Because we told he was a Chewini, so he was Chewy the Chewini. But there's no weenie. We did a DNA test. He's only Chihuahua.
Mhm.
And 0.06% wolf. Although he
He thinks he is?
thinks he's a
Because we have a part Chihuahua and Terrier.
he's
mix.
rat terrier. So he's mostly Chihuahua, but also rat terrier.
Yeah.
I
Ours is more, I think, more on the Terrier side because he has that look. But
Oh.
the attitude for both of them is him, like all the time.
Yeah, he's definitely
Mhm.
he's very cute. But anyway, so he was barking at something. I don't know what it was, but he wanted to join. What are your thoughts on this website? And then what about the
more
navigation?
websites later? Because like I know we kind of like chat about ChatGPT and AI stuff, but like I love how you guys just lit up and just went after it.
Right.
it feels like unfinished to me. That's what it
Yeah.
Yeah.
feels like.
Mhm.
Tried to start something, but they didn't really finish it, and it's just probably because they don't have the people that, that actually could finish it.
Well,
But
it's like given that it's still, regardless of people's feelings about Twitter and X, but like that it still says Twitter with the bird.
That's shameful. That
That's-
needs to be.
That means there's no funding to maintain this site.
Yeah, that's
I would feel
absolutely true.
It
And
I'm sure there's lots of other things.
And I suspect this is true because they have like, it's like a UI standard. Like they probably have a design system where they have like templates, but all the New York State ones look like this. So if you go to any of the other agencies,
like even the main,
So,
yeah,
that looks similar.
that one's similar, but there are different. But yeah, look at the eyebrow. That's the same font.
interesting.
Actually, I have a question. So for accessibility, does this font size matter? Because the
Yes,
other one was so
it does.
tiny.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does. There's some minimums that you need, whether it's desktop or
Like that is super
That's-
small, right?
it's not
Yeah.
primary text, so I think you could get away with that. But
But the other page, like the main content.
Oh yeah, the
was
main
tiny.
content. Yeah.
that's very
That's
small.
12. I didn't really. I mean, that's 12 pixels. I guess I just have a big monitor, so that's 12 pixels up here.
Which
Oh, it
is
is?
okay for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
But the other should be
should be
and it
bigger.
can span
Yeah.
beyond a certain width. So yeah, they definitely. I think too many people. A lot of times too. I think with the government stuff, I think I feel that you got a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and
Oh, sure.
sometimes you got too many people calling shots, and it can be a little confusing. And whoever's doing this work might be hearing multiple things, and whoever says it last
Yeah.
their way.
Right. That's pretty
And
much very important.
Unsurprisingly, it's very political.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but it is definitely designed by committee, but there are definitely some voices. The people that are very invested tend to be the most vocal. But see, their button style is different than the other. They have more
It's
rounded.
round.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, at least that's Twitter X logo.
Yeah,
Yeah. Where are they?
Right there. Connect with us.
Oh, right. I didn't even see that.
Mm.
My mouse is on it. I didn't even see it because there's no text.
yeah,
Anyways, I was focused on the blue again. Like I can't.
yeah. They keep using that link blue.
That's. I wonder if it's the same.
Go to
It also might be because of the people that they have to work with to build the site, because they're you know
It's the same code. It's the same color code. No, I mean, it's efficient. I will give them that. It's probably on the same platform, which is great.
Oh, they definitely are on the same platform.
Yeah.
They definitely are. And if you go like to DEC, which is Department of Environmental Conservation,
Dot or
it's dec.ny.gov,
like that. Okay.
and you'll see it's the same but
Yep.
with a slightly different
the
color.
blue
Okay.
the blue links. Yeah.
So, but yeah, see that there's green because it's like it's about green. It's about
Mhm.
environment. So they're doing some clever theming there. Why is that one link?
I know. I was trying to figure out if I definitely haven't come here, but
You know, it's interesting because like a lot of people be like, our site looks great. You know, I mean, a lot of people don't see the issues, and that's the issue, right? It's like, how do you convince these people they really could use an upgrade, and the reasons why? That's sort of like the dilemma we find ourselves in sometimes.
well, we made fun of New York. We got to go to Colorado and then
Yeah, now I want to see
Florida.
Florida. I have found that Florida sites are
Not bad.
good. No, not
Oh,
good.
no. Oh, the Miami
Or
one.
just relax. so
Miami
they're
one,
there.
I mean, that's expecting to have a 50-inch wide monitor apparently because
That's a lot on that main navigation.
yeah.
That's too many items on that nav.
What's rules? I live here. What's rules portal? Oh, for rule that's
See, I feel like
for
rules
actual
portal,
lawmakers.
rules portal and system status could be like in a utility nav above the main nav.
Literally a status page.io page. What?
What's a
That's
system
not-
status? What system?
That's to say if you're here, it's up. I mean, how
What? But
literally it's to tell you if the website's up. That's
But if you're there, you already know it's up.
that is not ever a navigation item. That's something that
Why
should
would
be in
you do
Google.
that?
I wonder
That's
if this is just
goofy.
that. No, this is one of the pages.
Rule-making process.
Well, at least I could read their text better.
Yeah.
Yep, that is true. It is definitely a more readable.
Well, you still have
Well, I
Twitter.
didn't really scroll down.
You still have a Twitter logo.
But things like their cards not being the same size if you scroll up, I mean,
That's
Yeah.
a great. So
Oh!
you see, scroll up a second. You see how the height, what Laura's talking about,
Yeah.
the height of the card is variable based on how much text there is. But you can constrain that so they're all.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It's a very
I wonder if this is a page of like 50 of them.
Well, and then also, I mean, those cards, like sometimes I think like, okay, unemployment insurance, driver license, renewal. So they're saying renew driver's license. But I mean, it's like
Yeah.
how you label those things is also important. So they have consistency. It's like you're going to put the verb in the title, do it across the board.
Yep. And
I have a very good question for you too.
okay.
So this is a problem we've seen with AI too. Now I'm seeing it here. Gradients. Is that coming back?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And I just didn't know it.
Yeah, I mean, it's people are moving away from the Google
Flat.
material design, the flat
Yeah.
design. So yeah, gradients
So
are.
it's
back.
like bell bottoms where they're just going to throw in the thing that we did before.
Yeah,
those
just
are-
everything. Everyone does glass.
Mm.
Yeah. But also I think gradients, like they're applying it a slightly different, it's a little bit more softer than,
Yeah.
and more subtle. And
Yeah.
versus,
Well, I didn't notice it at first, and then
yeah.
Like yeah, it's there.
interesting.
It's definitely there.
Well, it's good to know that I'm not complaining about, or I am complaining about AI for no reason, because it actually has.
Yeah, they put everything gradient. Literally everything.
I'm curious if those headlines don't look like they're accessible.
Oh, well,
Florida.
they don't even have drop shadows.
That's why I'm telling you, I've looked at Florida pages before.
I never seen this page
Wow.
really, so
Oh,
it's
those are
interesting.
good.
This
Look
is
at their
my
crest logo.
Florida.
Their crest logo, which you can't read anything on it.
Which is why we are always arguing with cities. Like, okay, I get you love your seal, but it should not be a logo.
No, because that never was the intention to be seen that small on.
Exactly. And look at
Oh,
it as a favicon. Do you see how crappy it looks? What is that? Come on.
That's that little seal logo.
Yeah. Why would you
Yeah.
do that? That looks
Yeah.
goofy.
Well, at least they have a simple menu.
That's
think
all
that-
that's there? That's it?
I guess so. And it's funny because I think that they get attached to that logo, the
Yes.
original logos, because of the historical significance, right? And it's like, listen, times have changed. It's like, and no one is going to they're going to look at that logo online and say, what is that? It does not read, it does not translate. So that's all.
At least.
See, now when you have it like big like that, yeah, then now you understand what's going on.
But otherwise, it's like a blob of color.
Doesn't it look the same? Well, maybe I'm thinking the flag, the South Carolina flag. Like how does
For me, that looks Hawaiian. Weird.
Yes, it does.
It does actually. Yeah.
let's see that go.
Flower.
Like, why am I looking at like someone going to start hula dancing now? Like that did not.
I mean,
But I
it's
guess indigenous.
warm here, but
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Well, there you can see it in the background there, and that looks.
Well, to have it like watermarked or like
Right.
that like thing, that's the compromise you make.
It's so different.
I wonder how many of the actual physical seal is that. It's probably never going to read anything out of it.
This is.
I only know, like, I would only recognize the seals of the states I grew up in.
I would never recognize it.
never. I mean, flags are I can kind of, but seals, like, I've never
No.
seen them outside of the states I've either lived in now or grew up in,
Yep.
and studied like their history.
We have found fire and police departments tend to be very fond of their seals
Mhm.
because they are used more frequently, I think, and they are more recognizable. But still, we try to dissuade them from using them in a digital
Platform.
design.
Well, it's usually, I mean, like this one, there's so much going on.
Yeah,
God, I forgot.
you lose all the detail.
Yeah.
You lose the girls.
This has been
Luau
this is
and the-
definitely more current than the original, I'm sure. Like it's been redone, at least.
What's the
Right.
I don't know. I think that's
not like the image itself, but like the fact that it like these are digitally created.
no. I think that could be illustrated. No,
Oh yeah.
PNG file. It's not even like a
yeah. I mean,
file.
yeah. I mean, illustrators do that kind of like very detailed work.
Yeah.
With
I was just thinking like the original would have been a painting, and that's
yeah.
definitely clean.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen stuff from the like 60s or 70s. It could look like that.
Okay, I believe you. I know just the weirdest things that are not actually important. So
Yeah.
no,
Oh my
I
god.
don't think we need to critique anymore.
No,
I
I
think
think
it's fascinating to see though, because again, when you look at a design initially, you're like, oh, that's not bad. But then when you really start looking, you're like, well,
Mhm.
no, I wouldn't have done this. So
yeah. There's so many designs that can be done. Like, there's so many takes on design. So you can have things but government stuff tends to be a bit more on the dry side. You're not
Sure.
going to do anything kind of crazy. Although I think like London, like has a nice
yeah,
website. So it just depends. And there was some like in Germany, there was like a kind of cool city website. So Europe tends to do more interesting things, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was looking at Dublin's. I did look at a few of the other city ones because we've done a lot of city websites, and there's some really good ones out there. And like Dublin was really good. Berlin, I looked at. But yeah, there's some really good.
Oh,
ones.
and then Stockholm and
Yeah.
But those are places that do focus on design in general.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Scandinavians are like
they got it going on.
Yes. Even their airports. I was like in Copenhagen. I was like, it was like perfect. Like the toilet paper just came out. You just like a tissue, just like pulled it out. It was just like one. You didn't have to flush anything. You go to the sink. There's just one thing coming right out. You just put your hands there. I was just like, was perfect user experience.
Oh, this is the future.
It's the future.
Simple. It's simple. And then when I compare that to Italy, it was Rome. I was just like the wayfinding, like all over Italy. It's like trying to return your rental car. Forget it. We spent an hour looking for a rental car return. And it's because there's like 13, 100 signs just like everywhere. Like, and they're just pointing in all different directions. And they're teeny tiny. So you can't even read them as you're driving. Yeah.
Oh, right.
It was
Worst. Yeah.
That's so
But,
funny.
but they're great with they're great with classical, right, design
Right.
in Italy, but not modern design.
Yeah.
I
That
love
could be a
it.
topic for another one.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so-
we definitely need to have you guys back again. Like, especially if we have an actual site we want to critique design wise, because we both Matt and I were like, we're just kind of like design wise. Do you think that makes sense? Like, we're not gonna know.
I would love to do more critiques of them. They're super fun. They're
Yeah.
super fun. But again, it's interesting because your initial take when you at a glance, you're like, oh, this is
fine.
good.
Not
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
And then when you start really looking at it, you're like, actually, this makes no sense. This
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
terrible idea.
But the trick is how do you convince them that it needs work, right? It's like
Yeah.
there's a lot.
Well, yeah, because does it actually like? Because most people's first glance is the only thing they really care about. And
Yeah.
they're like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Like for a lot of things, that's why the copy. Like people think that AI can replace copy because no one
Right.
really cares what the
Really
second
cares.
line says.
And honestly, especially with public sector sites, the content is just as important as the design. Like, and Laura mentioned like using verbs because that's what people then really it's easier for people to read it versus like a sentence to do something.
Yeah, they're actually coming there for a purpose, and they know
Yep.
what that purpose is.
So like renew your license,
Right.
schedule an inspection. So that type of like,
Yeah,
we do classes on that too, because it's become that we noticed over time that this is just as important as the design, because you've got beautiful design and then your content is that governmentese. I was just working with a city that shall remain nameless on some of their copy, and I was using ChatGPT to help refine it, but the initial draft that they'd created was like, so and so was appointed as. And it's like, that's not how people talk. in government sites, especially, you have to write to like a 6th grade level because it has to serve all your constituents, and not
Mhm.
everybody is a fluent English reader. So you have to say like, this person became this, not was appointed as. So really simplifying the language, using things that are scannable. Like there's all strategies around that we now do as part of any city website redesign. We do the content training as well.
6th grade, but still engage the user.
Still engaging and still, making it
Sure.
brief and scannable because people have no attention spans right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we should end this with actually a promotion of you guys, and you guys can tell us
Yay.
like, how to find you, what you do.
Excellent.
And that's the part we'll promote, and everyone else can look at the fun stuff later.
So how do we promote it? So we are a UX Design Collective. We are based in Brooklyn, New York, and we do all manner of digital design and product development for anything related to in the digital space. And you can find us on uxdesigncollective.com and also on the LinkedIns. And what else? What else do people say to promote themselves?
Well, we're women minority owned.
Yeah, women and minority owned, certified in various cities, states, nationally. We've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
long.
We also work on like proof of concepts, like blue sky type things as well. I mean, and workshops. So it's not like we only will build, only
Yeah, it's not just project based. We'll do consulting, like
Yes.
retain general consulting, like design ops consulting. We've done that as well. So anything in that space, whether it's, a consulting or a workshop or end to end or even embedded within a team, we do all manner of this type of engagement. So
Yeah. And for those that are more familiar with us, like they're similar size and scope of like you're dealing with the owners, the founders with a team underneath them versus, big agency or a one-off person. Like it's somewhere in the between, just like us, where you're getting the volume and like the need to get things done fast, but oversight and actually the people that want to do it right. So
and people
that's
with years, decades of experience.
right.
Decades.
I show it better on my face than anyone else because I'm white.
Mine's deceiving because all my grades are underneath, so
Mhm.
no.
You can't really tell, but my hair is actually gray and blue. But I have it back in
Blue.
the ponytail.
Mm.
Yeah, just because it's too hot right now.
and I'm a natural blonde.
I think my cat just came down because of that.
Wait, I want to see.
Oh, there's a cat.
I want to see. This is a Russian blue. Is that the
Yeah.
Russian blue?
Yeah, she's the shy one, but she learned how to climb up the ladder, so she's so proud that she can go up and down.
I'm a major cat person.
I'm surprised because she usually would be the cat to roll down and nothing else. The other would kind of plop.
I know it was like very graceful start, and then with
Doomed.
I want to see her face though. They're beautiful. I love Russian blues. Laura, do you remember Jen and Breck have a Russian blue too?
Oh, I don't remember that cat.
He's
I think I
I
need
just know
about
Oh, gee,
like
gee.
gray.
if he just looks at me in disgust.
Look
Pretty much that look.
She
Oh,
is
sports surprise.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
All right.
Absolutely. I have 3 cats too, but they're sleeping. So, although I should, as revenge, wake them up right now, seeing if they wake me up throughout the night.
Oh, this was so much fun, and I
This is
really
super
hope
fun.
to come back again because it's
Yay.
so much
Yeah.
fun.
Let's do this again.
Yeah.
I'll bring 2 cans next time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I
My
still
homework.
got I'm on my second class.
I'm still
That's
finishing.
See, no
mine.
one knows that. That's the best part about it. I should have a cup with a refill. And then
Exactly. You could
No
just
one would even know.
Well,
Just a
thanks.
keg. I'll just keep pouring.
Yeah, it'd be funny if a cup counter at the bottom corner, and then
Oh,
like she's on her fifth one.
giving feedback to the audience.
We would definitely have to schedule the critiques of websites to really make sure the end ones are not that critical.
yes.
Oh.
Exactly.
like cartoon websites or something.
Funny.
Well,
Perfect.
thanks
We'll
for
definitely
coming
do it.
along, and it was so much fun. And then,
Yeah.
like, did I just call you up on anything? So like, yeah.
No, this is on. Made a blast. This was
Yeah.
great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us.
Oh, yeah, of course. And stay tuned for the next episode on Monday afternoon.